Greetings and salutations! It is Rick, and I am here for another Suck Less video. And today, I'm going to be talking to you about order of effects. It's probably the first, probably the first in a couple of videos about effects order. Now, first thing I want to hit when it comes to how to place your guitar pedals in the right order to get the sounds you want is that there's no real like set order, okay? There's a commonly accepted order, and there's ways that things sound good or sound conventional, but you owe it to yourself to experiment, okay? There's always fun stuff to be found when you mix up the order, but we're gonna sort of focus on the conventional order of pedals, okay? So here's the deal. First of all, signal path on pedals, unlike everything else in the Western world, does not go right to left. Pedals are set up so that your signal goes left to right. I Googled why, and there's a couple of different theories. One of them is that most guitar players are right-handed, which means they're right foot, which means you want your cable off to the right so it's out of the way because of the way you're playing. Another one had to do with builders. Doesn't really matter. Either way, signal is going that way, okay? Yonder. So, how to lay out your pedals. Okay, here's the analogy I tell everybody, right? Is that your signal is like a river, okay? Everything you pour in upstream is going to affect everything downstream. So what I've got laid out today, and this is a standard order, okay, is a tuner, and I recommend always starting with a tuner because it's a mute. If I shut it off, you can probably hear a bit of the amp hum. I'm running a Telecaster on my right into the Vox on my left. So a tuner is a great way to not just stay in tune, but it's also a mute. So you can shut up, anything's making noise, you can just shut the whole signal up. And generally running it first will give your tuner the most accurate representation of what your guitar really sounds like, which is going to make its job of listening to the note and telling you what note you're at a lot easier. So I always recommend starting with a tuner. Next, I got a phaser. A phaser is a modulation effect, much like chorus or flanger. You want that relatively early, just because, well, I'll explain. Next is a distortion, the old Swiss Army knife, full tone OCD. Next I have a fuzz, because I have a fuzz. The Fnord from Black Arts. And lastly, I have a delay. This is a DoD rubberneck. So, why are they in this order? Well, like I said, everything flows down the river, okay? So with them all off, and I just tuned the guitar to drop D, just so I can kind of flick it and you can hear what's going on, right? So, tuner mutes, right? So we're gonna ignore that for a bit. That's just sort of like your base way to start. So when it comes to modulation effects, like a phaser, it's an MXR EVH. So, you want that relatively early because it's going to sound better there and it's going to bleed into the rest of your effects better, okay? Now, what would happen if we put this after? Well, I'll get there, okay? So next up, a little bit of distortion. These are where you put your, hold on, whoop. Hey, there you go. Next, after modulation, you want your drive effects, okay? Drive effects are anything that adds dirt or overdrive, right? After that, generally, you want fuzz. Technically, that's still a drive, right? But the good thing about fuzz pedals is you can push them with drive pedals, so that's a lot of fun. And then afterwards, you want your, like, reverbs and delays. Now, why would this be a commonly accepted layout? Well, I'll tell you. Do you want to phase your, what's the best way to put this? Distortion pedal phaser. Okay. Do I want to distort the sound of the phaser, or do I want to phase the sound of the distortion? You follow? So if the distortion is on, right? If I feed it the phaser, so what's happening is I'm getting a really clear signal into the phaser, which is then hitting the distortion. So the distortion is working with the phaser active, right? If I switch them, it's going to sound slightly different. The phaser is going to be more prevalent because it's phasing the distorted signal. Now, hold on, let me switch these off. Now, this is pretty simple here with the modulation stuff. And by the way, if you want to get your phaser or your flanger or your chorus to bump up, put it after your drives. Like I said, this is just like the sort of hard and fast way to do it. Try it after your fuzz, after your distortion. It'll sound cool, right? But here's where it gets interesting, particularly when it comes to over here, which is a delay pedal. So here, let's kick that guy on. Okay, pretty standard delay tone, right? Nothing crazy. Now, if I kick the distortion on, it's picking up the distorted signal and delaying it. Kick a phaser on. Okay, so everything's running in a line. Now the thing is, if you take that delay and move it, say, where the phaser is, right? Right now, it's delaying the distortion and the phaser. But if I move that there, suddenly the distortion's going to distort the delays. You follow? Here, I'll show you. Hold on a second. Don't try this at home, kids. All right. And let's drop it in here. I'm just going to pull the phaser for the time being. Woo! All right. Oh, Velcro. Let go. Let go. Oh, that's good Velcro. Woohoo, that's good Velcro. All right. So I'm going to make the mistake of putting the delay early. Just a second. And we'll run some power to that. That's what I get for doing this on carpet. Okay. So now I've set it up so that... Oh, hello. Tap delay. There we go. I've set it up so that the delay is running early now, right? So let's see how we're doing here. Power. Did I get the tuner? Hope I got that right. Nope. Hold on. That would be the culprit. Man's Eternal Quest. All right. Okay. No edits. Lots of fun. So, I've got a delay pedal in front of the distortion, right? So, the distortion sounds like that. The delay sounds like that. Now, if I distort the delays, it's not too drastic. I don't have the distortion up very high. Why don't we try fuzz? That doesn't sound very good. Now, that is because I'm fuzzing the delays, not delaying the fuzz, right? So you can always walk your way through this by going, do I want to distort my chorus? Do I want to delay my distortion and chorus? Blah, 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 okay? So that's like a basic thing for signal path, right? Is that you want to have, hold on. That's going to get ugly if I don't shut it off. So you want to have everything laid out in front of you so that you can sort of work through your signal path and figure out what it is you want to do, okay? So that's entry-level effects line, right? Next week, we're going to get into something even more interesting. Thanks for watching. See you in a week.